Okay, so one thing that DC was really strong at, like there was some really good ones, was the animated part of DC. They had some of the absolute best animated movies. Like anytime DC had an animated movie, I was buying it because they were all good. They went on such a strong run. Now, as of late, is that the same thing? No, absolutely not. Um, when they went into the crisis mode after they ended the new 52 run with Flashpoint Paradox, it's been kind of sus ever since. But there was a time when DC animation, woo, was it. Well, anyways, going through the internet, and I know it's on SuperHeroHype.com, they listed the best animated movies up till August 2025 for DC. Now, I haven't looked at the list, but this should be interesting. Let's take a look. So, like I said, this is coming from SuperHeroHype.com. Best DC animated movies, August 2025. So the best DC animated films prove that sometimes the only way to make Superman's underwear on the outside look cool is to draw it really, really well. DC animated films represent some of the best superhero storytelling facts, bringing treasured comic book characters to life. Unlike many animated superhero projects aimed primarily at children, DC movies often have complex themes and more nuanced character development and aren't afraid to explore darker storylines. So, best DC animated movies as of 2025. Whoo! This gonna be, I can tell already. I don't know if I'm a let's go. This is gonna be a tough list, but let's take a look. So let's take a look at the best DC animated films, analyzing what makes certain ones stand out, from faithful comic adaptations like The Dark Knight Returns to original stories that redefine familiar characters. We explore the films that have earned critical acclaim and devoted fan followings through their talented storytelling, outstanding animation, and willingness to push boundaries. Let's see what animated superhero movies can achieve. All right, so first we got Batman: The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and 2. I agree 100%. I'm not gonna read all of what it was about, but I agree at 100%. That is my one of my, if not my favorite graphic novels of all time. Um, I had the run, and growing up, I lost it, and I went back and bought it again, and I read it to this day. One of my favorite graphic novels of all time, and they nailed it. This adaptation, DC nailed it. I couldn't wait for it to drop, and I still watch it right now. So I agree 100%. I don't know if they're ranking this like 1 to 5, but that being first, I agree 100%. All right, let's keep going. Justice League Flashpoint Paradox, also another good one. Yeah, I agree with them. That was really good. And that was a great way to close out the new 52 run for the animated movies. Um, Batman Assault on Arkham. So listen, you know how you might get a film and have an expectation for it that it'll be good, but then it turns out being way better than it should have been. That was Assault on Arkham. That was so freaking good. It had no business being as good as it was. I'm kidding, but that was like, yo, this is popping, especially for a film that wasn't even Batman centered, or centered around Batman, but was centered around the Suicide Squad. Assault on Arkham was fire. Yeah, that was a good one. Um, Justice Crisis on Two Earths. Okay, yeah, that was good. That's when they fought Ultraman, the Crime Syndicate. Yeah, that was a good one. Uh, and Owl Man. Also, great voice acting with James Woods as Owlman was fantastic. Yeah, that was a good one. Justice League, um, Infinite Crisis on Two Earths. That was a good one. So Green Lantern First Flight. My son back in the day was a huge Green Lantern fan, and I remember how excited he was to watch this one. And I agree, this one was good, but best. Wait, that's the list. So how we choose the best DC animated movies? So the best DC animated movies tell complete stories that are entertaining and enlightening. Great adaptations faithfully translate beloved stories or creatively and meaningfully reinterpret characters. The strongest movies give our heroes internal conflicts and show growth, while villains have understandable motivations. Strong vocal performances can elevate material significantly. I also ask, has the film influenced other DC media, inspired creators, blah, blah, blah. Interesting. So I don't know how I feel about this list because every movie that they have on here is good, great even. But the best up to August of 2025, that's a lot. So let's start with the Justice League films, right? Because they started doing the new 52 with Justice League War. So you had Justice League War, you had Justice League Throne of Atlas, which was dope. You had Justice League versus Teen Titans. Um, you had Justice League Dark. You had Justice League Flashpoint Paradox. Out of all of those, oh, and Justice League Dark Apocalypse. Out of all of those, I want to say Flashpoint, I agree with, was probably the best one. But Throne of Atlantis was fire. And Dark Side, Dark, sorry, Justice League Dark was also good. But I'm gonna agree with Flashpoint Paradox. With an understanding that there were other ones that were fantastic out of that series. Um, Throne of Atlantis being one of them. So there's that. But then you have the Batman family films. You got Batman Bad Blood, Son of Batman, Batman versus Robin, which was dope. And I don't know, man. I don't know. That's tough. Now you had the Superman, Death of Superman series with Death of Superman and Reign of Superman, which was good, but I agree that I get why that wasn't listed. But you know what? Clearly I'm a Batman fan based on what I'm about to say. You know what's missing from this list is year one. Batman Year One. That adaptation was dope. It was literally like the Dark Knight Returns. It was such a great adaptation of the graphic novel. And so Dark Knight Returns is my favorite. Year One is probably my second favorite. Even The Killing Joke was good. This is a tough list, y'all. I don't know if I agree with it, but I get it. This is a hard list. I do agree that I think they picked the best of the new 52 Justice League films with Flashpoint Paradox, and I do think Dark Knight 1 and 2 definitely belongs there. I question the Green Lantern film being on here, and I question Crisis on Two Earths, even though that was such a good movie. So give me pushback. Let's talk about it in the comments. What do you all think? DC for a while was like hot when it came to animated movies. Like, so any movie that you pick, I'm probably going to agree with. Like, in my opinion, there's no right or wrong answer here because, yeah, were there some better than others? Sure. But from an animation standpoint, DC was fire. So let's just have a nice conversation. Let me hear your thoughts in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Do me a favor. If you like the content, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe. And hit that little alarm button as well so you can get alerted whenever I post new content. And also, do me a favor, share with other people who you think would like this content as well. We have a big goal of 1,000 subscribers we're trying to get to, and we need your help. Appreciate it. Till the next one. Peace.